Yulia Ivlieva.
It's clear what the topic will be, isn't it? No? Is it just me, or is that really weird that I'm dressed like a bride and you're like a groom? So far, the topic is not wedding. What is your relationship with your mom?
I don't feel a connection with my mom.
The tears just flow, and I cry quietly.
There's a part of me that misses Dad very much. Dad, I miss you.
Life never ends, and people never die. Any child loves both mom and dad very much. It is impossible for a child to choose between mom and dad in the case of parental conflicts. It's like choosing which hand you need more, the right or the left. Family secrets are the most expensive thing. Its price is very high. From the very beginning, did you see everything? This is Method, the show without a script. Today I want to discuss the topic of the relationship with your mother. Let's go. I like the way you greet me. All right, I need a volunteer. A man. Who is ready to get on stage and discuss the relationship with his mother? Nope. No, no, no. 1 second. All right. Yeah, you come up. Yes. What is your name?
Pavel.
Pavel. What's your mom's name?
Elena.
Elena. What is your relationship with your mom?
Warm ones. Strong ones. Good, in a word.
How about your dad?
I'm fixing it now. You can say there were none before that.
That is, your dad is excluded from the system. I have a question. Are you really ready to go into a deep research of your relationship with mom in front of an audience?
Yes.
Isn't it disturbing for you?
No.
Good. Good. I'll offer you some phrases. Repeat them. Let's look at the reaction of the body, the psyche, and what's happening. Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that my mom
that my mom
is the main woman
is the main woman
in my life,
in my life,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it.
at which I got it.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that no other woman
that no other woman
can be compared
can be compared
with my mom,
with my mom,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it,
at which I got it,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
How do you feel?
Anxious. There is something.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that for a long time
that for a long time
I was a husband.
I was a husband.
I was a husband
I was a husband
for my mom,
for my mom,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it,
at which I got it,
and I give it space.
And I give it space.
What's your mom's reaction to other girls who appear next to you?
It's an interesting story. She was always against me having a woman. When she appeared, Mom was surprised because she turned out to be perfect. This is such a unique case because Mom liked everything about her. But...
Phew. There is a but.
Can I continue? Can't I?
Go on, yeah.
Over time, I realized that she resembles my dad. It happened so... well, women don't like those who look like them. She resembles my dad in some ways.
Are your mom and dad together?
Yes, for 30 years.
Until now?
Yes.
Whose place took dad then? Everyone has their place in the generic system. It is there by right. It happens that people want to get loose and become mom for mother, mom for older brother, wife for dad. All sorts of distortions. In general, who is with whom? It can't be that the mother's place is occupied by two people. There's always one person there. It's perfect when the mother who gave birth occupies the place of the mother. When the mother goes to some other place, for example, to the grandmother's place, the mother's place becomes vacant. Then the wife takes the place of the mother. If you were somehow occupying mom's husband's place, then your father's place was free. Then your woman comes. She looks very much like your dad and completely satisfies your mom. An interesting experience. Are you still with this beautiful girl?
Yes, it's been 10 years.
Is this your spouse?
She is now.
Are you comfortable in your relationship with your mom and your spouse? Do they share roles harmoniously with each other, or do conflicts arise?
Between them, they have a perfect relationship.
Is there a conflict somewhere?
I have a conflict with my wife.
Have you?
Yes.
How about your dad?
There is no conflict, but there may be some kind of tension in communication, but in general.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that my wife and I are fighting for the husband's place, for my mom, and I give it space. I embrace that experience at exactly the price at which I got it, and I give it space. It's so interesting. Everything seems to be smooth and beautiful on the surface, like there is nothing to dig out. But there is some very interesting story of the relationship with the mom. There are some shifters here. According to the classical psychology, men unconsciously choose a woman who resembles their mother very much. She may have similar appearance or the character. A beautiful and attractive man is unconsciously dragged to the woman who looks like his mother. It happens that men technically get married, but at mom's whistle, at a word, they respond to the call of their mother. They leave everything, their family, with 2 or 3 kids, and go to their mom. Do you have a question about mom?
I think there might be something in the relationship. In the relationship, I try to see my mom and my spouse. That is, to receive support that I do not feel. At least something like that.
So you expect your spouse to take your mom's place.
This happens sometimes.
And then, if suddenly this were the case, your spouse would take the place of your mom. And then your mom and spouse would have tough conflicts. The spouse would not tolerate your mom. The mom would conflict with the spouse, because they would fight for the place of the mother and argue who is the best mom for you. But according to you, there is no such conflict. Then it seems that I have nothing to sort out. Let's look at someone else, through another man. Yes, I'll let you go for now. Thank you. I need a man who has a problem with mom. Yeah, you, come up. Is it just me, or is that really weird that I'm dressed like a bride and you're like a groom?
I don't think so.
No? Fine?
Yes.
All right, but so far the topic is not a wedding.
Let's get back to mom.
Let's get back to mom. What is your name?
My name is Artyom.
It's a very beautiful name.
Thank you.
What is your mom's name?
Mom's name is Alyona.
Eliona. What is your relationship with your mom?
I don't feel a mom-son connection. It always seemed that everything was smooth. Everything was fine when I was a kid. Then the moment came when Dad was gone. The reason was my mother, as it seems to me. That is, I have such feelings.
So you think mom had something to do with Dad's death?
There was a situation. They broke up because of the cheating, not some unveiled cheating. Dad saw Mom with another man. Naturally, I was upset very much at that moment. I didn't understand Dad. They divorced immediately after that, and Dad soon died.
Very soon.
Yes, a heart attack. I took it all as my mother's fault. I didn't understand Dad.
You didn't understand. Why?
Why didn't he solve the situation?
Why didn't he stand up for Mom and take her back?
Yes, that's how it worked for me. Then I started wondering further. That was in 2017. I was working on it, reflecting upon this further. By the way, I saw one episode where there was also a young man. It turned out that his mother took the role of his wife. I thought I probably had the same thing, because Dad didn't stand up for her. But this is your woman. At least it looked like it to me.
I've got it. Let's say few phrases with you. I acknowledge and accept.
I acknowledge and accept
All those in my family.
all those in my family
And in my incarnations.
and in my incarnations
Who was loyal.
who was loyal
To King Oedipus.
to King Oedipus.
And I give it space.
And I give it space.
I embrace that experience.
I embrace that experience
At exactly the price.
at exactly the price
At which I got it.
at which I got it.
And I give it space.
And I give it space.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that when I was Oedipus, I killed my father,
I killed my father
and I married my mother,
and married my mother,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it, and I give it space.
and I give it space.
The legend of King Oedipus. He did not know who his mother and father were, fell in love with his mother, joined the battle with his father, defeated him, killed him, married his mother, and only then he found out they were his own father and mother. In classical psychology, there is a term, the Oedipus complex. It's when a boy at the age of 5 or 7 unconsciously wants to marry his mother. The healthy way is when his mother rejects him. The father takes his place, and the boy, amazed, goes to look for his girl. Sometimes there is a lot of accumulated energy in these codes. There may be a lot of accumulated generic energy, reincarnational or at the universe level. All this accumulated energy releases itself in your life. These may be archetypes, energy feelings that a person lives through. If it is difficult to perceive, just call it feelings, energies of the Oedipus complex. The feelings of such a script. How do you feel now?
Some kind of anxiety. As if there's something to work with.
Say, and some part of me
And some part of me
still haven't forgiven my mom
still haven't forgiven my mom
for cheating, and I give that part space.
and I give that part space.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that some part of me misses my dad very much.
Some part of me misses my dad very much,
And I give that part space.
and I give that part space.
Say, Dad,
Dad,
I miss you.
I miss you.
And some part of me
And some part of me
is very angry at my impotence
at my impotence
and helplessness.
and helplessness,
And I give that part space.
and I give that part space.
And some part of me
And some part of me
hates my mom
hates my mom
for breaking up with Dad.
for breaking up with Dad,
And I give that part space.
and I give that part space.
Any child loves both mom and dad very much. It is impossible for a child to choose between mom and dad in the case of parental conflicts. It's an impossible choice. It's like choosing which hand you need more, the right or the left, or which ear is more important to you, right or left. If suddenly some child faces this choice, baby, who do you love more, mom or dad? Then the child is torn apart because it is impossible to choose. It is impossible to choose. The child equally loves both mom and dad. And God forbid anyone to face this choice, which cannot be made. Who is closer to you, mom or dad? Who is more valuable to you, mom or dad? If in childhood a kid chooses, oh, I love mom more, then he or she automatically becomes a traitor to dad. Or if a kid says, I love dad more, then he or she automatically becomes a traitor to mom. It is unbearable for a child to be a traitor to one of their parents. Say, I acknowledge and accept.
I acknowledge and accept
That some part of me thinks that I betrayed my father, and I give that part space. And some part of me thinks that I betrayed my mother, and I give that part space. Do you understand? This feeling is unbearable. Say, I acknowledge and accept that I'm a child for my parents, and they are my parents, and that's right. I acknowledge and accept that my dad is the best man for my mom, and my mom is the best woman for dad, and I'm theirs, best child. I acknowledge and accept that my parents' relationship, like man-woman relationship, has nothing to do with me. This is not my task to decide who's right and who's wrong in their man-woman relationship. I'm their child, and they are my parents. For me, my dad is always the best. For me, my mom is always the best. And I give it space. Did this happen in 2017?
Yes.
Have you lived through the loss of your father? With grief? With indignation?
I understand that I haven't.
I have a task for you. Grieve for your dad. Give this time, place, and space.
I'm trying. I want to do it. It's probably not working out yet, but it's better than it was.
Try to do it from your heart. You come home and realize that now you have 3...
I do everything from the heart.
Yes?
Yes.
Say, I have a task to grieve for my father for 3 hours. Go to the cemetery, bring flowers. Look in the mirror and see his eyes in the mirror. Do you look like him?
Yes.
I have news for you. Your dad is alive. In you. He continues to bring himself into the world through you. Your mom continues to bring herself into the world through you. He died in that body, but created another one with a different fate, with a different improved set of qualities in order to continue living. Do you have kids?
Yes, 2 daughters. I think it's because...
What do you mean, I think? Wait, it's...
I don't think. I know it's 2 of them.
Are you sure?
Yes, the first daughter was born earlier, and in 2017, the second daughter was born. That is, my dad did not catch her a little. Naturally, I believe that he moved here, because this often happens when someone dies in some close family circle. Another one's born. My wife's grandmother died shortly before my first daughter was born.
Yes, say I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that in my system has not enough energy, and I give it space.
And I give it space.
And in order for new members of the family to come, the elders sacrifice themselves. Unconsciously. And I give it space. It's a popular story that a girl was pregnant, and 2 months before giving birth, her grandfather leaves, or her father leaves, or someone leaves. When there is a little energy in the family for all members of the system, then unconsciously the elders, let's call them that, make way for new people. But your daughter and your father are different people. It is important for you to divide it. Your daughters, your father lives in them too. They will continue this work through themselves, through their female part. Can you imagine they'll give birth to your grandchildren? Your father will be there too, with the same ears like yours and with the same nose. Oh, how he looks like Artyom's grandfather. In this regard, life never ends. People never die. I highly recommend you, who are unfamiliar with the work of Michael Newton, Journey of the Soul, read these books. They are about between lives experience of a soul. There is a present life. There are some incarnations before or after. And there is a gap between the first and the second. There is a wonderful author, Michael Newton, who was a hypnotherapist. He put more than 10,000 people into hypnosis. He had experience, practices, more than 10,000 people. He worked with them and led them into a certain space before birth. And people described a certain process that they lived. He realized that they were telling one and the same thing, and decided to systematize this knowledge. My psychologist told me about this book at the time. If a friend had recommended me, I would have thought that my friend had gone a little crazy. But I thought, a psychologist is a certified specialist. Clever one. He won't advise anything bad. She acquainted me with it for the first time. If it had been anyone else, I wouldn't have believed it.
What should I do with my mom?
What's wrong with her?
She's in a relationship. I try to get this energy out of me so that we split up. Like there's me, the son, and there's a mom. Mom has her own personal life. but I'm not very good at it yet. Better, but
Good. To solve such a problem, it is not always necessary to go into the meaning of who, to whom, what, where. Let's go the straight way. All right. I need. You feel energy for your mom, right?
yes, it still lasts.
Energy, 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 energy. I'll find it now. The professional energy of 2023.
She's young, beautiful.
All right. No, you didn't come here to solve your own problem. Now I am. Oh yes, it's you. The girl with the black. Yes, yes, yes. No, 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 no. Yes, you are. Behind your back. Yes. Look, she's walking confidently straight here.
By the way, I had a story with my mom during this period since 2017. I just don't remember the reason, but she somehow... It happened so that she gave me a shoulder to cry on. To cry. She lulled me somehow. It felt so much easier for me. Probably this was a turning point for me, by the way. We went deep. I found out that in childhood, I almost died during childbirth. They brought me back with difficulty. I started discussing this with her. Then I felt this connection.
Awesome. Yes, it's a great thing. Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that due to this energy,
I
feel the connection with my mother, and I give it space. I embrace that experience at exactly the price at which I got it, and I give it space. What is your name?
Victoria.
How do you feel?
Anxious.
I called Victoria to present the energy you have for your mother and that you feel. And it's not clear yet what to do with it. Would you describe in your own way, as best as you can? Look at this energy. Imagine there is an opportunity to materialize this change.
I want to deal with it.
Say, I acknowledge and accept that I wanted to get rid of you, and I give it space. I embrace that experience at exactly the price at which I got it. Say, and it seems that I took the wrong thing.
What?
1 second.
That I took the wrong thing.
And that energy of anger that my father felt to my mom, and he couldn't show it. I carry it for my dad.
Yes.
And I give it space. I embrace that experience at exactly the price at which I got it. That is, this energy was Dad's feeling at the moment when he realized that your mom was cheating on him, but he couldn't react to it. You took the place of your dad and you experienced his feeling to your mother. There is a lack of synchronization. You love your mother like a child, but at the same time there is a pendulum inside you. Love and hate. Love and hate. How do you feel?
Fine. I just have a very jealous son, so I volunteered for this.
A jealous son?
Very.
Good.
He seemed to take the place of father and husband in the family.
What are your feelings?
Very warm ones.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
my mom, my mom,
the way she is,
the way she is,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that I got everything wrong.
that I got everything wrong.
Love and hate.
Love and hate.
I take the energy of anger
I take the energy of anger
as love.
as love.
I feel a connection through it,
I feel a connection through it,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I need a person. Now. Here, the girl in the blue jacket. Yes. Please become a connection contact figure. The connection contact. That's the connection you're missing. What is your name?
My name is Natalia. My heart is beating very fast. It's coming right up here.
Yeah, I've got it. And you, what feelings do you have looking at that figure?
But
That's it. I get it. Yes?
yes,
Come on, say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
all those in my family
all those in my family
and in my reincarnations.
and in my incarnations
Who killed
who killed
out of jealousy,
out of jealousy,
and I give them space.
and I give them space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it.
at which I got it.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
all those in my family
all those in my family
who loved so much,
who loved so much,
and I couldn't handle their feelings.
and I couldn't handle their feelings.
That contact
That contact
was equal to death,
was equal to death,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it,
at which I got it,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
all those in my family
all those in my family
and in my reincarnations
and in my incarnations
who killed the partner
who killed the partner
out of jealousy
out of jealousy
on the wedding day,
on the wedding day,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it,
at which I got it,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
How do you feel?
I'm kind of confused.
How do you feel?
Almost the same, but calmer. It's just calmer somehow.
Do you see this man?
Yes.
How do you feel about him?
It feels like he's very angry at me.
Say, I got it wrong.
I got it wrong.
I thought that anger
I thought that anger
and love
and love
are the same thing,
are the same thing,
and I felt the contact
and I felt the contact
through anger,
through anger,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I will take anger from the contact, from that very connection with love, and I will place it in the energy so that everything is in its place. Look, it's the contact and the connection. This is an energy. They are different. How do you feel now?
I feel some division now.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that I have the right
that I have the right
to all my feelings,
to all my feelings,
the way they are,
the way they are,
and I give them space.
and I give them space.
I can continue to feel connection
I can continue to feel connection
and at the same time be angry at the person,
and at the same time be angry at the person,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that earlier,
if I was angry,
I thought I had to break the contact.
I thought I had to break the contact.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that I have the right
that I have the right
to all my feelings,
to all my feelings,
the feeling of love,
the feeling of love,
the feeling of hatred,
the feeling of hatred,
the feeling of anger,
the feeling of anger,
the feeling of happiness,
the feeling of happiness,
the feeling of pain.
the feeling of pain.
I give space
I give space
to all my feelings.
to all my feelings.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it.
at which I got it.
We legalized all your feelings and the internal conflict. Whether you love or hate, you're angry, you blame, you don't blame, the conflict went away. You know, you can do anything.
Yes,
You can feel pain for the loss of your father, and you can feel anger. All human feelings are normal. It's because you're alive. Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that some part of me
that some part of me
blamed me
blamed me
for how I felt.
for how I felt.
It forbade me to feel
It forbade me to feel
what I feel,
what I felt,
and I give that part space.
and I give that part space.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
my feeling of a guilt,
my feeling of guilt,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
The complexity. Look at the contact. How are you?
Calm in acceptance.
Say, and it seems
And it seems
that I can be in contact
that I can be in contact
and feel all my feelings
and feel all my feelings
the way they are.
the way they are.
How does the contact feel?
I was standing here thinking that I'm the energy. My whole body was vibrating. It's getting easier now. I exhaled several times.
No, you're not the energy. How does the energy figure feel?
Inner peace.
You see, even this description doesn't sound like the energy. What do you feel? What are your feelings for this person?
Love.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
all those in my family
all those in my family
and in my reincarnations
and in my incarnations
who had the feeling of love,
who had the feeling of love,
and I give them space.
and I give them space.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that my dad
that my dad
loved my mom,
loved my mom,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
And my mom
And my mom
loved my dad,
loved my dad,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
How do you feel?
Well, I admit it, in general. It's just like the energy came there, but it's easier now.
There is a lot of love in addition to the energy.
What?
There is a lot of love. You have a lot of love inside, and your parents had a lot of love in their relationship.
Yes.
It's just that the energy figure doesn't behave like the energy. She sat down first, and I asked, "How are you feeling?" She says, "I have warm feelings for Artyom." She started talking like the love from the very beginning. I'm thinking, all right. We unpacked these different stories. I ask again, "How are you feeling?" She answers, "This and that." Good. Say, "I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
all those in my family
all those in my family
and in my reincarnations
and in my incarnations
who gave it all away
who gave it all away
for love,
including
including life,
life,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it,
at which I got it,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
Get up, and you get up, opposite each other. That's the figure of love. Look into each other's eyes for now. What's going on with the contact? How do you feel?
It became calmer.
Stand behind his back. All right, let's call Mom. What's your mom's name?
Aliona,
Aliona. Aliona, come on. Come in, Mom. How do you feel?
it feels like love is here, because at first it was something like to push away or don't accept. Now it's with love.
Say, "I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that it was difficult for me
that it was difficult for me
to feel love
to feel love
and accept love,
and accept love,
including my mom's one,
including my mom's one,
and I give it space."
and I give it space.
Let's move love aside for now. Here's your mom's figure. What do you feel towards her?
I see love there, but you need to open up somehow to connect.
She has a huge sense of guilt.
Yes,
How do you feel?
My heart is beating very fast. The tears just flow, and I cry quietly.
What do you feel?
Guilt.
Say, "I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
my enormous
my enormous
guilt,
guilt,
and I give it space."
and I give it space.
How do you feel about your son?
There's a pause inside. It's like there's something huge, but I can't say it.
Say, "I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that in our family
that in our family
there are many secrets,
there are many secrets,
and I give it space."
and I give it space.
How do you feel?
Yes, it's a little easier, but I'm shaking now.
Say, "I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
all those in my family
all those in my family
who were excluded,
who were excluded,
and I give them space.
and I give them space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it.
at which I got it.
How is it now?
It's better.
How do you feel?
The energy went up all over my body from the bottom.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
all those in my family
all those in my family
who then
who then
couldn't bear these secrets,
couldn't bear these secrets,
couldn't survive them,
couldn't survive them,
and I couldn't forgive.
and I couldn't forgive,
And I give it space.
and I give it space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
that I already paid.
that I already paid,
And I give it space.
and I give it space.
Yes.
I accept it.
Family secrets are the most expensive thing. The price is very high. They cost a lot. Repeats. Script repeats are the secrets in the family. Through feelings. How do you feel?
My right hand is a little heavy.
Say, I love you,
I love you,
and you're my son,
and you're my son,
and I love your father.
and I love your father.
How do you feel?
Well, that's probably it. I know, Mom.
How does the contact feel?
It's like I'm not at my place at all.
Stand where you belong.
I wanted to stand between them almost immediately. It's like I'm missing between them.
How are you feeling, Artyom?
As if there's a connection. I'll want to catch on and reach out. Like that.
Say, I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that am I afraid of losing
that I am afraid of losing
this connection,
this connection,
and I give it space.
and I give it space.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
all those in my family
all those in my family
and in my incarnations
and in my incarnations
who lost the connection
who lost the connection
with the close people,
with the close people,
with their family,
with their family,
with their parents,
with their parents,
and with their children.
and with their children.
And I give them space.
And I give them space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it.
at which I got it.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
that this connection
that this connection
is precious.
is precious
For me now.
for me now.
I didn't appreciate before
I didn't appreciate before
this connection
this connection
with my parents,
with my parents,
with close people,
with close people,
with friends,
with friends,
with colleagues,
with colleagues,
with those I felt warm.
with those I felt warm.
Now, when I've lost that connection,
Now, when I've lost that connection,
I understand its value.
I understand its value.
I acknowledge and accept
I acknowledge and accept
the value of
the value of
a human soul connection,
a human soul connection,
a family connection,
a family connection,
and I give her space.
and I give her space.
I embrace that experience
I embrace that experience
at exactly the price
at exactly the price
at which I got it.
at which I got it.
How do you feel?
It's as if I've already programmed myself to embrace that experience at exactly the price at which I got it.
That's how we live.
I feel like it's all there. But still,
Look, you have an amazing experience now. You know now what it feels like when the connection is broken, when the contact is interrupted.
Yes.
You also have experience when there is contact.
Yes.
In a situation where contact is interrupted, there is a lot of pain and fear of losing this contact again, and the desire to resume it.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So then when this code is human connection value, then you feel the value of human connection, the value of relationships at the level of the information code.
When this happens,
When you realize that contact is valuable to you, this contact with your mother that you were looking for, it was interrupted at some point. You didn't feel it.
yes,
You linked it to mom and dad's story and to your dad's death.
yes,
You have a feeling of contact absence. That is, you know what it's like without contact, but you know what it's like with contact. There are both this and that, salty and sweet. When there is something to compare with, there is a value of the contact existence. You understand what it feels like. Then human relations in general become valuable for you. Human warm relations with your mother, with your spouse, with your daughters, with your friends. It is a human connection with all people. When you feel that you are not alone, when there are other people who are close to you, you feel the difference when you have contact. When there is this energy of human warmth. When this contact is broken, when you don't communicate, you get angry at each other or pretend that you don't exist. You are a stunningly unique man because of it, and a person who has this sensitivity preserved. Men go into the freeze more often. They're like, oh, I don't want to feel anything. I'm doing my program.
I probably feel the value of contact.
Yes.
A breakup with a spouse, a mother, another close person. When this contact is broken, it probably hurts.
Yes.
And it's hard. It's so hard for me to live it through.
Yeah. But you're alive in this.
Yeah, you mustn't forget about this.
This is an amazing thing, because there are people who have chosen not to feel pain. Then they don't feel joy, and they don't feel love. And they live like in a freeze. Freedom and captivity are equal, like the Snow Queen. They can't feel love, and they can't feel joy. Their choice of person comes from their mind. I want to show you very briefly and finish this story about the people surrounding you and the people you are connected with. Don't choose people relying on your mind. Oh, he seems to be successful. I want to be friends with him. Oh, he's cool. Oh, he's a countryman. Great. Let's go build a relationship with him. Choose people for your circle exclusively according to one simple rule. When there is human warmth, neither their profession nor their amount of resources, it's all rot. It's all meaningless, without energy. All that makes sense is contact, human warmth.
I know that for sure.
It is an example of a live man with live contact. Choose those people for your circle with whom you have human warmth. Look at the list of your contacts in your notebook. or the list of the people you call friends, according to a simple principle: is there human warmth? You should protect further the people you've chosen for your circle. Protect this contact, this human warmth, because this is the most valuable thing. That's what people are looking for. Choose only with your heart, only through love. Is your wife there? Are you his wife? Come here. You have a wonderful husband. Only with a human heart, with human warmth. She knows her place, you know? Well done. What is your name?
Anna.
Anna and Artyom. Guys, keep this human warmth and protect your circle. Who is in your circle of friends? Who do you call a friend? Who comes to you as a partner? A person may have money or competencies or something else. But if there is no contact, if your values are completely different, you shouldn't build a business together. You shouldn't do projects together if your values are different. In order to build a project with a business partner or the partner, come and ask about his relationship with his mother. Or come and ask how he broke up with his ex-wife. If he does not pay alimony, he does not want to hear anything about his child, do not build a business with him. Build your businesses and projects based on human values. If a person betrays someone he had a human contact with, he will betray you the same way. Earlier, he betrayed in love. And then he will double-cross you in money when some kind of shipment or delivery needs to be done. Cherish of this contact. You are so... I'm looking at you and I'm drowning in your eyes. You are so beautiful. It's about the value of your circle. Then, when you have chosen according to values, according to warmth, protect it. Everything in your life will be completely different when you create this circle, this human warmth. You will stop replacing it with plastic, sugar substitutes. How is Mom feeling?
Great.
Awesome. How does the contact feel?
It's super calm right now. Everything is in its place. Everything is fine.
How does the love feel?
I can't take my eyes off it.
I think it's time to finish. I got the main idea across. This is my mom. Mommy. Did you know? This is a setup.
My darling.
Thank you, Mommy.
In fact, I was hiding.
Well, that's tough. Ah. One second. I'll just say that I didn't know what we were going to talk about. I put on a dress. I look like this. I'm in a dress. I think it would be great to call a man and see into his case. We saw into Dad's case. I thought, Mom, it would be great to see into Mom's case. I didn't know my mom was coming. It's a total surprise, even though tomorrow we're... From the very beginning? Did you see everything? Mommy, come to me. What do you think? Mommy? Imagine a guardian angel. He's always there, even if you don't see him. Did you see it?
I saw everything.
Who was worried that their mom would see them? My mom saw everything. Thanks, Mommy. Bless me for what I do.
I wanted to come up to you earlier and tell you that. I bless you.
Thanks, Mom.